Good afternoon. My name is Caitlin Anderson. I'm a Public Information Officer with the Lee County Sheriff's Office. I have an interesting story for everyone today. I'm here in Estero at Turtle Source, where we just had detectives bring back some stolen turtles that were reported stolen a few days ago. Now behind me, you'll see some turtles that are not only adorable, but they're also incredibly valuable. We had 18 turtles stolen from this location, and they all totaled approximately $30,000. Our detectives jumped right on this investigation. They utilized the Real-Time Intelligence Center and facial recognition software to help identify that suspect and bring him back into custody. Sheriff Carmine Marcino even authorized detectives traveling all the way to Hillsborough County to grab this suspect, recover those turtles, and bring them back to Lee County. Now next to me, I have Marcus Cantos, who is the owner of Turtle Source, and he has some turtles here that were actually some of the turtles that were stolen. And this one in particular is Hunchy. It's your mascot, is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, this is Hunchy. He's an ivory sulcata tortoise or African spurred tortoise. And he's not albino because his eyes aren't red, but he's white in colored, so he's definitely different from what a normal one would look like. And we did notice him missing because he is pretty much one of a kind for us. And he's been our mascot here for a couple of years.
He's so cute.
Really, his disappearance was what led us to the whole investigation. A couple weeks ago, we had a appliance repair guy come out, and he needed a part, so he was going to come back. And we noticed a couple things were missing after he left, but we didn't put two and two together. And then he came back last week on Wednesday, and when he left, a whole bunch of things, including Hunchy, were missing. And so we look at the videotape, and if you think about our operation here, we've got a half-mile moat around our property that actually has wild alligators in it.
We have serious security.
We do. We have a 6-foot fence that goes another foot underground, and we have very big, mean dogs. We've got cameras inside and out. We've got our Second Amendment rights that protect our property real well. But it wasn't until I put the recordings into the hands of the detectives at Lee County until we really were able to figure out what happened and really see this guy just helping himself. And it was, it felt really, really painful to watch. I had the sickest feeling in my stomach. It felt like I've been violated every which way. And when I made the call to the sheriff's department, I was a little bit hopeful that they would, even have time. I know they're so crazy busy all the time right now. And what happened was, from the dispatcher on, she listened, she got every detail. You could tell that she cared, the concern in her voice. Had a deputy out here a little bit more than an hour. He checked every single detail, no stone unturned, had to get everything that he possibly could and kept following up. And then the next morning I had detectives calling me. And they were out in just a couple of hours, checking everything out, sorting everything out, going through the video and really going through our operation and figuring out what happened. I think you were saying they had facial recognition that worked out on that.
Absolutely.
And figured out who it was. And
really, huge success story.
It really, really was. It made you feel like the sheriff was your relative. I mean, they just take care of you so well. I was shocked and amazed, and I really we can't thank them enough. It was amazing. And then that same night, I got a call from detectives. I went up. A detective had gone up, and a sergeant had gone up from Lee County to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. We have to thank them as well. And they had recovered at this guy's house, and were getting ready to return to us. So we met them up there. I think it was 1 in the morning when I finally got them in my hands. We did get this albino back. And Hunchy back. We're still missing a few like these guys here, which are really expensive, but we did get some back, and it felt so good. And we also knew that the guy who did it was in custody, and that's
the most important, right?
Oh my goodness!
And of course, getting Hunchy back and all the other ones as well.
And this guy could come into anybody's house.
Absolutely,
he could come into anybody's house, and he would have tomorrow. And at one point, they even asked the detectives, "Can you ask him if he'll not press charges?" I'm thinking, why? So he can get my neighbor next? So he can get somebody else next? Why? I mean,
well, we're really happy that this worked out for you. That's absolutely, it's the most important. And I know Sheriff Carmine Marcino takes investigations like this incredibly seriously, and all investigations in Lee County. Like he always says, you commit a crime in Lee County, you're going to go to the Marcino Motel. But thank you so much for joining us today on this live show. I think everybody would love to see the turtles and hear the success story. And then for the Lee County Sheriff's Office, I'm Public Information Officer Caitlin Anderson.